Hey guys, this is Oracle Daphne. My name is Beth, and I'm back today to do a collective reading for the sun sign of Pisces. If you have your sun, moon, or ascendant in Pisces, or a bunch of planets in Pisces, I'm reading for you today. I have decided to do these long format collective readings. I don't know exactly how many I'm going to be able to produce, so please be patient. There may be a delay or more time before I'm able to post the remaining signs of the zodiac. This is not a monthly horoscope. This is rather a collective reading for the sign of Pisces. Messages meant to find you at this time. I noticed actually that there's a very strong color purple that's coming through in this reading, purple and blue. So that might be a sign for you. Typically Pisces is attracted to colors of like the water, so blues, indigos, purples. Typically they kind of like those colors. But that's coming through very strongly here. Before I jump in, I do want to say a big thank you to everybody who has been supportive of my channel. I am changing up the language in which I describe my videos, so that's intentional. I'm trying to increase my reach so more people are able to enjoy my videos and content. Please give this a thumbs up. Really appreciate it. Helps my viewers get to see my work. And if you want to book a reading, you can book it through pre-ordering using one of the links in the description. Of course, always donations are always appreciated as well. So all the links are going to be in the description box, and I oftentimes leave those in the comments as well. So I'm going to pull some cards and jump in and see what I got. I feel like there is an energy of love, very strong love. And to me, Pisces is the most like unconditionally loving. They put up with so much. So many of you have probably gone through a lot in relationships. I'm seeing that. Pisces is also someone who, when they fall in love, they fall deeply in love, and they don't ever really leave that. So they want to be in relationships for longer periods of time, or just be really focused on their partner in a very loving way. Pisces also is very much self-sacrificial, and they do a lot for other people and typically a lot for their partner as well. So these are just some of the things that I'm noticing here. Wow, that's interesting. Okay. I'm just going to talk about this first. For those of you watching this, I did a bunch of like health focused readings using this. It's kind of like a little bell. And it kind of rolled in this direction. And to me, it's like sort of just showing me that many of you need to be focused on your health at this time. Pisces can have a variety of health issues more than other signs. Pisces and Virgo, anyone on that axis. So essentially, you guys need to, during this period of time, be very mindful about eating right, sleeping right, taking all your meds, taking all of your vitamins, doing all the things that you need to do to take the best care of yourself. For some of you, you might be actually fearful or like scared about maybe like a health condition that you have, or just like kind of freaked out about a health condition or something that's going on with you. But it's sort of like a domino effect for Pisces. A lot of times one thing leads to another. They can spend longer times than usual in hospitals. I don't recommend this period of time whenever you're watching this. And again, this is a message meant to find you during this period of time when you find it. That I would avoid anything that's like a major medical procedure. Anything that brings you into the hospital, you want to avoid. Okay, so this is a time to avoid over drinking. Okay, I'm seeing the pineapple here. Dehydration. Okay, anything to do with water, Pisces needs to be really good about. So like staying up on your hydration, making sure you're making your own liquid IV hydration drinks at home and ordering all your supplements. And, I personally really like pressed watermelon juice. For people that have blood sugar issues, they might not want to do that, but there's a lot of electrolytes in pressed watermelon juice. In cold pressed juices, there's usually a lot of electrolytes. So many of you need to really up your game as far as your electrolytes. I'm seeing specifically maybe doing more pressed coconut water, and pressed juices, pressed watermelon juice as an example. There's also magnesium malate, which you can use as you add it to water, and it really is good for hydration. But again, these are just suggestions. This is not something that I can really advise on. I'm just saying this is what I see in the reading for you. I also would avoid any kind of conflict at this time. Anything conflict related is going to exacerbate stress, and stress again leads to more medical stuff. For some of you, I'm actually seeing like a cold. You get like maybe a summer cold, or you're not necessarily feeling the best. For some of you, might be actually in bed watching this, feeling maybe under the weather. I just see a lot of medical stuff, a lot of doctors, nurses. I don't know why. It's very strange. For some of you, you might be caregivers. For others, you might just have recently gone into the hospital for something, and there was a lot of doctors and nurses around. You might actually, like, this is another interesting, you might like work at a coffee shop near a hospital, or like, let's just say you go in for labs or something, the doctor orders labs, then you might go to a hospital and do some lab testing. There's just like so much coming through, like nurses, doctors, all this stuff. I don't know why. For some of you, you're just going to have this as a focus, like during this period of time. Now, I don't necessarily think that this is anything for you to worry about. Like I said, if you avoid doing anything major health-wise during this time, I think you'll be all right. What other messages want to come through for Pisces? For some, it's actually like managing like your doctor's appointments. Like if you're doing a lot with doctor's appointments at this time. For some of you, it's dermatology. For some of you, it's just like seeing your primary care. For some of you, it's like multiple visits, like maybe chiropractic care, wellness visits, or just having a lot of doctor's visits going during this period of time. Counseling also for some. Some of you may have a connection to plants. I pulled out this piece of this cloth, this t-shirt that I had that has like a whole bunch of plants on it, and it's stuck now, of course, so you can't really see, but there's like a plant on it. So I'm just gonna set that down. Some of you have like a green thumb. This might be a good time to do things out in nature. Keep some like little plants in your window. Get some maybe new house plants if you don't have them. Again, I'm seeing like juicy, like watermelon, peaches, fruit. For some of you, need to eat more fruit is what I'm seeing, specifically apples. I'm also seeing tomatoes. Anything with like a strong water content, I'm seeing. It's interesting. I didn't even notice the Hanged Man in the center, and the Hanged Man in the center is concerned about health. It is tests with health related stuff, but I don't necessarily think it's like the biggest deal in the world. For some, it's like minor stuff. For others, it's like a series of things where it's like you get a cold, and then you get your period, and then you get something else like on top of it, and it's just kind of one thing after another. I think you're going to come out of it okay, but I think, again, it's just this period of time where it might be kind of a domino effect that's irritating. The Judgment card is also about starting fresh, okay? And we have this this piece here, which indicates usually being a light for other people. those light workers who are Pisces, I feel that you're going to be called during this time to really do something specific with your life or with your life path. Um, I'm thinking of a person who actually does a lot of work in the church. Some of you may go to church or be very active in your church. This is the kind of thing where you might feel called to go do something, be there for someone, help out in some kind of way. I do see the financial coming through right next to the heart. So for some of you, this is like being very kind and generous with your time, with your money. I feel like maybe someone is being very kind and generous with you. I also see, and this is going to sound strange, I feel like you're going to get money from somebody who owes you it, or from somebody who there was some conflict or disagreement or some issue around money. I see that. And I don't know why I'm seeing that, but I see like a conflict around money from the past that's going to come through and be resolved, which is a positive message. I feel like some of you really need to detox your love life. We have the tomahawk here, or just detox some relationships, or just detox in general. I'm hearing detox, but we have this heart here, and I'm not sure if that's a need to, and it's right next to the black tourmaline. Sorry, it's right next to the black tourmaline, and that to me is about detoxing. That's about purification, cleansing. For some of you, you need to take more care of like your showering habits and making sure you're showering regularly. And you're also drinking more water to clear out the toxins in your body. But to me, this is also like purification of, let's just say, toxic relationships, or people that are not supportive, or people that are not good for you. I feel like for some of you, you are tied to someone who is not good for you or toxic to you. And I don't necessarily think that I'm seeing like an ending of a relationship is what I'm seeing. We have this 9 here next to this chain. It's like a ball and chain. And that's about restrictions. For some of you, actually, okay, so there's 2 main things. For some of you, you're going to be leaving behind a relationship or breaking free of a relationship that's not good for you, that maybe is toxic in nature. But I also feel like, so you could be watching for a Pisces who's actually toxic in nature, okay? Or you could be watching for yourself or somebody else. But what's coming through is there's an ending of a relationship that's toxic in nature. But I'm also seeing an ending that brings on a new beginning, okay? And maybe the new beginning is, for some of you, it's a new relationship, or it's starting or wanting to start a new relationship. I feel like breaking free is something that is going to really help the Pisces, whoever's watching. It feels like breaking free is just like maybe paying off old debts, cutting up old credit cards. To me, it's breaking free of something that you're tied to, and it could be a person that you're tied to. For some of you, this is like wanting a divorce or going through with a divorce, wanting some element of freedom, and getting it. Okay, for some, this is financial freedom. Like there could be some finances that come through during this time for Pisces. That's a blessing in some regard. But I see this figure here, which I usually see as a young child. But this, to me, symbolizes the child is, or the person is looking away when it's in reverse, it's like that. And so I feel like you're kind of maybe breaking away from a person who's not pouring into your cup, or a person in your life that's not good for you in some regard. Or there's some ending of some toxicity which has come from maybe unrequited love or non-reciprocal energies or avoidant personalities. I have to say, okay, if you're watching for a Pisces and it's not you, this Pisces I'm seeing has either an avoidant personality or can really shut down and be quite toxic. And I have experienced myself when a Pisces shuts down, they're kind of like a clam, okay? They're a little bit like the Cancer on steroids, right? So like the Cancer is like a clam, okay? The Cancer, opens when it feels safe and closes really tightly when it feels vulnerable and shuts down. But the Pisces takes a little bit of that Cancer, that experience, and kind of when they shut down, they're really weird about it. So it's unexpected. They can ghost you and then come back. They can do that many times. They can maybe ghost for no reason, shut down for no reason, shut down at odd times, not be open at times, be very difficult or challenging at times. I see something around this person being very difficult or challenging. And it's like they don't even know that they're doing it. For some, it's a hissy fit. For some, it's a temper tantrum. For some, it's a person who is pissed off. For some of you, this is the silent treatment. And I'm also getting, like, for some of you might be watching for a person who's given you the silent treatment. The Pisces might have given you the silent treatment, or you might have given the Pisces the silent treatment. I feel like there's a masculine that's watching regarding a Pisces feminine. And this Pisces feminine, there was a lot of missing components in the relationship. Like, this Pisces did not show up for this masculine. That's what I'm seeing. I also feel like it could be reversed where the Pisces masculine doesn't show up for the feminine. Okay, for whatever reason. A Pisces masculine, or any males who have strong Pisces in their chart, they can be very damaged toxic masculines because they don't necessarily have that drive. They don't have the drive like the Aries does to kind of get it done and go out and change it. So they kind of wait and they hem and they haw and they don't really change anything. And it's a cyclical problem that doesn't really end. That's one of the things I'm seeing there. For some of you, I'm seeing a strong work focus. We have the Magician here crowning, and that could be your main focus. For some of you, you're not interested in love. In general, the energy is very not interested. Do not disturb. Leave me alone. Kind of energy coming from the Pisces collective in this reading. Doesn't mean like it's always that way. Again, I feel like when the Pisces is open, they're having a great day. They can be the life of the party. They can have really a lot of fun. They can go really buck wild sometimes, okay, and really off the deep end, and be very unique, different, creative, beautiful human beings. But when they shut down, it's really, really toxic and really, really bad, and leads to, I want to say, unsurmountable challenges. And to me, that's what this is. This is like unsurmountable challenges in love life. Unsurmountable issues. For some, this is regarding child support. For some, this is regarding issues around communication with a Pisces or with a person. Issues around physical, like provisions, food, shelter, clothing. Issues around, I want to say, emotional availability and love. That's what I'm seeing that's coming through very strongly there. I'm not really getting a lot from these cards. It's really fascinating. I actually feel like I'm getting more from the charms today than from the cards. The cards are kind of quiet. And that means like they're either your guides like are not really coming through for this reading, or there's a lot of things that you're not meant to know quite yet. Or there's just people around you and they have their own unique energy and they're very private. You might be a very private person too. This might be a time where you kind of decide, okay, I really need my alone time. You might be a Pisces that really just wants to shut down, wants their alone time, wants to be quiet, or needs a certain level of peace and quiet. And for some, the Pisces, I feel like, is really plagued by noise. By the noise volume. And I've talked about this because we've come out of a time where we had a lot of planets in Pisces. The North Node's been in Pisces for over a year. Excuse me. And so I think, again, it's one of those things where you might be the kind of person that just really is struggling with finding the peace within your energy, finding the peace in your life with maybe the noise levels, or with just maybe not being able to sleep, because Pisces really struggles with that, or just, I don't know, it's just a feeling of like needing to have alone time, needing to feel like in your own energy bubble. I am seeing like a bubble here coming out with this Two of Wands. For some of you, you're going to do really, really well in some stocks. Okay. There's some kind of bubble that you're going to get. And that bubble indicates for some a financial boom or financial bubble that you hit maybe by accident, something that comes through at a time which you're not expecting. This could also be an unexpected check in the mail. This could also be like videos that kind of blow up, or a channel that blows up, or, this is millions of views, things go viral. People have talked about, there was this interesting YouTuber who talked about how she had a natural pool at this, I don't know, like a property in, I think in England, and they cleaned out the pool and it got like 6 million views unexpectedly, and it changed the whole game. And so she did like another video about this natural swimming pool that they drained and cleaned out every spring. And it came in, the water was fresh. And I don't know how she did it, but it was just really interesting. And so again, you might have some kind of something that happens where there's a financial element that kind of bubbles up for you and you're not expecting it. Again, it could be online. It could be in your business. It could be, again, it's an unexpected bubble. It's unexpected money. It's unexpected prosperity. So for some of you, like you're not going to have to worry about money after this. You're not going to have to worry. Like if you're going through a period of time of hardship, you're not going to have to worry after this bubble. For some, it's stocks. It could be small stocks also. Something that you've invested in also could be something that you invested a long time ago. Something that really got big. People didn't expect it to get big. And maybe you're about to sell some of those stocks because you're like, wow, I didn't expect that to happen. So there's something with investments here. And it also could be, let's just say there was an inheritance that came through, or some money that came through, like a windfall or something unexpected. This has to do with someone's long-term planning, stocks, bonds, mutual funds, kinds of things. So there's money, I feel like, in this bubble. Okay. I have to say also, and this is one of the last messages, and I have to let you guys go. I have to say also, those of you who maybe are struggling to feel like as prosperous or abundant as you'd like, money comes when we are feeling safe, when we have we're really rooted, we're really grounded. So, a bubble can happen, like of safety or protection can happen when you're in a place in your life that you feel safe. You could feel safe in any place. Okay. It doesn't have to be your dream home. It could be an apartment that you're living in. It could be your car that you're living in. It doesn't have to be any specific place, but bubbles can happen when you feel very safe. For some of you, you're going into a time where you feel really safe and feel really grounded, and that's going to bring a lot of prosperity in. That's the message. Thank you guys so much. I wish you guys all the best. I send everyone big hugs, big kisses, and I'll talk to you guys soon. Bye, guys.